Hey, Josh, how are ya?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
You know, this is like my favorite time of the month, so to speak. I don't know, maybe we should edit that. But I absolutely love talking to people, and I couldn't have been more excited to have you on the show and chat with you.
Well, yeah, super excited. I'm super happy that you asked me to come on the show, and this is the first podcast I've ever done, so it should be fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I am a huge fan of yours, and I'm a huge fan of Greiner's, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more about you today.
Well, we appreciate that.
So let's go way back. So
Sure.
You're a young man, and you say, I want to build stuff for a living. Like, where did you grow up, and how did you get started in this
I don't know if I
business?
exactly said those words, but yeah, so yeah, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, kind of in the construction trades here and there. I worked at a lumber yard through my high school career.
Was your family in that business?
My family was
Okay.
way back.
Okay.
My grandparents' kind of era. But my dad was always in the design business, designing homes, designing apartment buildings, things like that.
Oh, cool.
He was very handy, very skilled as a carpenter. So I picked up my skills from him. We always would do woodworking in our shop. So I got interested in the trades that way, kind of, sort of.
That's so great.
Worked at the lumber yard for my whole high school career, went back in the summers from college and worked there. Had an opportunity to buy the lumber yard at one point in my life, but decided, I don't know, that just wasn't for me. I wasn't going to stay in our small hometown.
What town was it?
It was a town called Footville, Wisconsin.
Footville.
Yeah, literally, it was like a postage stamp. It's a town of 835 people.
How many kids did you graduate with from
54.
in high school?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was small. It's the home of the first lighted softball field in America, which was kind of cool.
That is
So that's
cool.
where I grew up playing baseball.
Note to self.
But anyways, yeah, I got into that industry, I guess, the construction industry through my dad. Went to UW Stout for part of school. Never finished, never got my degree. Decided to get into working. Fell in love with just making money and learning on the job, so I started off working for an architect in Arden Hills, just redlining drawings. It was the most boring job I've ever had in my life, just sitting at a desk, just making corrections.
How would you even know what?
How did I know to do that?
Yeah.
Just from the little bit of schooling that I had. My dad
Really?
was a drafter, and I just learned by just watching,
Wow.
right? So did that for probably, wasn't very long. It was only like 12 weeks maybe.
Oh, wow, that is
And I was
short.
like, done. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this.
Yeah.
So then I was back out kind of just looking for work. And then, I met my wife in college. Fast forward kind of a little bit there. We moved to Woodbury, Minnesota, where she was originally from. After my stint with the architect, I was home for a little bit, so I stayed home. We were living at my wife's mom's house, just kind of waiting to get our feet on the ground and in careers and things like that. But my wife actually got me inserted at Greiner Construction because she used to hire them to do her work at Wells Fargo, where she worked as a designer. So,
Oh, really? Is she still a designer?
She does. She stays home now.
Okay,
But
awesome.
she's been home for a while. But yeah, that's how I got my start at
Wow, I
Greiner
love
Construction.
that.
It's just a phone call. My husband needs a job. Do you have work for him? Yeah, have him call me. So I called up Greiner.
Who was the person that
The
you?
person I talked to was Dirk Hansen and Kevin Vader, which
Okay.
are no longer with the company, but they hired me instantly, sponsored me into the union as an apprentice, as a 0-hour apprentice. And I was a 0-hour apprentice. I didn't have too many skills, right? I didn't know how to do things in commercial buildings. So they brought me on as an apprentice, went to their school, and the apprenticeship school was fantastic. I got to get relationships with a lot of the teachers there. They were all in my shoes at one point in their lives. They started off in the trades, but they helped mentor me, gave me opportunity there at the school. Flew through the school in a little bit over 4.5 years, roughly. I think nowadays they try to push them out in 4. So I was done, got my journeyman's, I don't know, you want to call it license certificate, to be a journeyman carpenter. And then from there, just kind of worked as a journeyman carpenter for, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe at Greiner after that. So about 10-year span, right?
Wow. And what kind of projects were you working on?
Oh, geez. You name it. I mean, I was framing walls, standing studs, doing backing, putting in millworks, hanging doors, a lot of the tenant improvement stuff back. That's how Greiner kind of started, was in that tenant improvement area. And from my beginning of my career at Greiner, that's pretty much what we focused on. Since then, it's morphed. You know, I got into some of the leadership roles. You know, I got into the foreman role, which is you're kind of a leader on the job site, helping manage trades. And then from there into that superintendent role, which I was just running work. Had people kind of underneath me working and running things, and I was running multiple projects. From there, stepped up into more of that general superintendent role, taking over for the guys who hired me, because as they were retiring, they needed to slide someone in.
That's really cool.
And then from there into a leadership role, into an owner 5 years ago, and then today, you know, I own 58% of the company, so I'm a majority owner. So
Wow.
it's been a long road. It's been a great road, and yeah, I mean, I can't thank Greiner enough for taking me under their wing and letting me do what I do.
That is so cool. And big announcement in January. I mean, your
Yep.
title is.
Well, the title, I'm not a big title guy. Yeah, CEO, president. It comes with a lot of, I don't know, different responsibility. But it's a lot of things that I've been doing for the last 5 to 6 years. So it was kind of a natural progression. We had that kind of planned out, and we decided now is a great time to do that. So that transition happened January 1.
Congratulations.
No, thank
I mean,
you.
It's a
Thank
huge
you. It's
testament
it's
to
been fun.
you.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't do what I do without the people that I have working alongside me. I mean, we got great people. It's a fantastic place to work, and that's what my drive is every day, really.
And I feel like Greiner has an interesting, we've talked before, and I only know like this much, but like an interesting kind of ownership management style. Like you're a majority owner, but there's other owners. Tell me how that's structured, because I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the structure is, so there's 3 other owners currently right now. And we all have different percentages there, but we all have different roles in the company too. We have a CFO, who's basically in charge of our finances and our money, but he's actively involved day to day with the jobs and stuff that we have coming in and out, helping create those teams that are assigned to those jobs. And then our other 2 principals lead kind of up that ground up side of things. You know, we got a lot of ground up work coming on out of the ground, talking to the developers. So he's out there making those connections and relationships. And then our other principal, Hans, who used to be the president, who I took over for, he's out there just building those relationships. He's got so many contacts on the TI side, and then some. And that's who kind of I'm following in those footsteps, trying to get with him more and more. We're trying to go into the meetings, setting up with clients that he knows that I don't know yet. So it's been tough to schedule all that just because there's so much, right? But it's super fun when we do it. Meeting a lot of cool people. It's great.
But I feel like you are a real relationship guy. I mean,
I am, yes.
I mean, the fact that you have all these other skills too. I mean, but you're a great connector. I mean, that's it's a special gift that you for sure.
I don't know if it's a gift. It's come with practice. It's from the people that I've been around, right? People like yourself. I mean, you're a great connector as well, and it's connecting those dots, introducing to new people. And I mean that's totally out of my comfort zone from when I first started. Super scary talking to new people, but now I love it. I love going to talk to new people, new opportunities, and like I said, it's the people that create who you are, and I think I get a good surrounding of a lot of supporters like yourself, which has come to fruition just from the transition being the new CEO. Just the people that have reached out. It's been amazing.
I'm a huge fan of Greiner. I had the great privilege of spending some time up at the Wild Rice Retreat this last week with 53 amazing women in development or some sort. And I know that you were involved, Greiner, I'm not sure if you personally was involved in building out or renovating the St. James Hotel.
Yeah, very active in that project. I was.
You were? I mean, it's stunning. I mean, I'm in awe.
Yeah, it turned out really, really fun.
And that's in Bayfield, Wisconsin.
Bayfield, Wisconsin, yep. Small little town. We have some history there in Bayfield. from some of our other clients that have some homes across the lake over in Madeline. So we've been there. We know the area. The Bayfield, the St. James Social was, if you would have seen it day one, we almost just turned our heads and backed out, right? Just walked right back out the door. It was in that disarray. And from what it is today, it's crazy what kind of work we did there. And again, that's our people, that's our trade partners. That's the Bayfield community that came together to help make that thing happen. Annalisa and her team were wonderful to work with. So we wish them nothing but the best, and I can't wait to get up there this summer and enjoy some of the bar activities and some of that food that's going on there.
Yeah, Annalisa had quite a vision, and her and her husband,
Oh my goodness.
Worked together, and they talked about kind of some memories of your crew would come up and stay, and you had to it's almost like Little House on the Prairie, like there was some major snowstorms, and you guys would cook together, and your families would interact and whatever.
It was crazy,
and you created a beautiful project up there.
Yeah, they took us in like we were family. Our superintendent up there was really their two little girls were like his best buddy, and I think today still just talk to each other on the phone, and they're sending pictures through the mail, and it's crazy.
Well, I mean, you paint a picture of kind of what I feel like Greiner's culture is, maybe. I mean, it's just, it feels like you just take care of each other and you take care of your clients. It is sort of family-ish.
Absolutely. And our clients come first. We take care of our people just the way that, kind of each of us would want to be treated. And also, there's opportunity to grow, and we're a unique company that way. It's not like a dictatorship at all. We're all kind of little entrepreneurs in the big company.
Interesting.
So there's no micromanaging going on. There's none of that. Everybody's voice is heard. Everybody's got ideas, and we take all of that stuff to heart and really really listen. Which I think that's one of our differentiators. I think, but our people make our business. Our cultures is fantastic.
How many people are at Greiner?
Right now, I was just asked that question the other day.
I know. I have like 12, and I can't remember. I have to count all the
we're
time.
up to about 115-ish.
Wow.
So that includes our Des Moines office, too. We opened up an office in Des Moines right in the heart of COVID.
Okay.
With one person. We've since grown that to like 15. That's been a fantastic move for us down there.
Really?
The people down there are doing wonderful things. It's great. Here locally, we're at the 100 probably mark, with people. But that we're split probably kind of along the middle with office staff and field staff.
Okay.
So kind of paints a little bit picture of how big we are.
Yeah.
Not super huge, but not small either.
But impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and did you start with Greiner like 2001?
I started in 2001.
Yeah. So, I mean, which is the year I started my company, which is kind of interesting. But like the growth that Greiner, I mean, what was the company like when you started compared to what it is today? You said you were mostly doing TI work. Now you're doing some ground up stuff.
I guess revenue-wise, I'll probably give you a better picture. So when I first started, revenue-wise, we were in that $35 to $40 million a year in revenue. Now we're pushing 200.
Wow.
Yeah. Believe it or not, back in 2001, we probably had more employees, but we had we had laborers on our staff at that time. I think 2010, 11, somewhere in there, we ended up getting away from the laborers side of things.
That whole
just subbing
08,
out,
09 thing might have had some impact. Yeah.
And now we just have in-house carpenters.
Okay.
So we self-perform a lot of our finish work.
Oh, that's great.
But you can see from 2001 to 2024 how much we've grown in revenue. And that, I would say, we could pay back that to all our relationships that we've had over the years, right? It's that. There's some new ones in there for sure. There's some new ones that we are chasing, but a lot of it is just relationship-based business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just, as much as we want technology and AI and all of that to kind of, make our life easier, it's really just about the people, right?
Absolutely. I mean, AI has a point. I use it a little bit just for some of the conversations that I have and emails and making things much more smart. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see where that goes one of these days.
When did Greiner get into ground up? You talk about like that you were mostly doing TI work when you started.
Yep. So when I probably it would have been after 08, 09, 10, 11ish. I'm trying to think when Spencer started with us. Spencer is one of our principals. He kind of brought that division to us.
Okay.
But I think it was around that 11 mark when we started doing more of the ground up kind of things. A lot of the housing, market rate, affordable, which are awesome projects. And we've morphed from there, to the industrial, the healthcare, the building repurposing. A lot of that stuff has just kind of been a natural progression for us. We're diversifying in those areas because TI isn't always there, and now we're experiencing that very heavily.
Right.
There's a lot of vacant space.
Yeah, a lot of vacant space, or even like taking a St. James Hotel, like and repurposing kind of, because space. I mean, we always need real estate. We always need space, but like reimagining what things are and how they work and where they're located, it continues to evolve, and you have to be. You're a big company, but you have to be nimble too to be able to kind of change with what's
that's one of our core values, is that nimbleness, right?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's everything can change as snap your fingers, right?
Faster now than ever before, don't you think?
So being able to have your head on a swivel and being able to adapt to those changes, that's one of another uniqueness, right? No matter what we're doing. We could open up that wall over there and find a column that's in our way that we never knew was there. Being able to look at that, coming up with solutions, bringing those back to the table, and making a decision as a team and what we're going to do. That's that nimbleness and flexible kind of nature that we have.
So do you miss being on site pounding in nails?
Once in a while I do.
Yeah.
I for sure do. But especially when it comes to those home improvement projects, I'm a little rusty. They can't go get that cordless drill and figure out how to do things really quickly anymore. It takes me some time. Plus, getting up and down, it's hard on the body now. used to be in shape to do that stuff. Now I'm not.
Yeah, but what are the aspects of leadership? And you're really great at business development. Like, what are what do you embrace, and what do you love to do, or what gets you excited?
Oh man, there's so many things that get me excited. I don't know, just being able to help, being involved at a different level than maybe the so-called leaders, I guess, would be. Just a different level.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you think of leadership and you think of owners of a company, you think them kind of like back of house, overseeing, like up on a perch, right? Our leaders at Greiner Construction, our owners, are very involved in the business. We're involved day to day with all of our people. We're not just sitting in an office with our door closed or not in the office at all. We're in the office. We're present. We're there. We're willing to help. We're jumping in to help solve problems. We're listening to people. There's lots of things that are going on. We've been through a lot of those experiences ourselves, so we can share some of that. But that leadership, I think, is really something that stands out. Another thing that stands out to me is, I felt like myself, being a leader for several years now, I've had an impact, because the reason why I think I've had an impact is because I have people reaching out that no longer work here that say, hey, you're doing a great job. I remember when this happened or when you did this. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. So I've had an impact somewhere along the line, which drives me even more, because those things don't come out often. And when they do, you're like, oh man, you are doing something good and something right? So it makes you feel good. So that's my driver. The community involvement that we are doing now in our community, a lot of the nonprofit work that we do.
Yeah, you just joined the Sauna board.
I did. Yep.
You helped them buy a building in the last year or something, and or so. And
we haven't helped them with any buildings yet, but I just joined their board. So
Tony's amazing.
He's amazing. It's an amazing organization. But I can't remember where I was going to. The community piece. Yeah. So doing that nonprofit stuff is so rewarding. I mean, they're projects, they're construction projects, but they're affecting people's lives, right? Yeah. It's not the banks and stuff that we do build affect people's lives as well.
Yeah.
But people's homes, people's livelihood, those kinds of things make you feel good, right? And getting a team together to go pitch why Greiner should be your contractor. Those are super fun things to do. But in the end, when those projects come to completeness, seeing the smiles on people's faces, right, on the impact that you've made, creating a new home, for example, or creating a spot for them to gather to go eat. It's just, I don't know. You can't describe it. You can't give anybody that feeling other than just experiencing that. And we do so much of that. I want to continue to do more of that. Because that's what life's all about.
That's so neat. I mean, because I think I watch people on a construction site, and I'm like, how does anyone know what to do next? Like, I don't even understand. Like, I would be like, and then you've got all people doing different stuff, and like, and you look at something on paper, and like, you know what you do. It's sort of. So I think it would be really cool to take pride in just seeing that, erect and be beautiful and say, we built that.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is that what really gives you pleasure and joy is to say how that person that walks into that home or that apartment or that business and like can say, this is gonna kind of impact their life forever.
Yeah.
That's what's exciting to you,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
so much just the Lego land.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Going by those buildings, 10 years down the road and say, hey, you participated in building that. I mean, that's a cool thing to say too. But affecting people's lives, because I don't know, that's something that you can't do every day.
Right.
So that's really one of the real highlights of what we do at Greiner and why I love what I do.
Well, and don't you think it's kind of, I mean, you talk about how people have come back and said, I mean, in the moment, you don't even realize sometimes the kind of impact that you have on people. But like, how do you go about every day how do you, I feel like the choices you make every day impact people in a way that you don't even know for years later. So it's just about like having what kind of attitude when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, it's some days it's hard, right? It's real hard some days. Some days you have difficult days, but that quote that I kind of have in my office that I look at every day, do your best that you can do every day, but make tomorrow better. And how do you do that, right? Sometimes it doesn't necessarily work like that, but you'd like to think it does. But that's always on the forefront of my mind, and that's, kind of hopefully that's what I instill in other people. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have challenges. There might be some hard conversations you have to have, but ultimately, what's that end goal? You're either aligning with people, you're listening to them. Otherwise, if you don't, there's that other reaction piece that you may never know, but they may go tell Sally or Jenny down the hallway. I went in to talk to Josh, and he was busy on his phone doing something and not really paying attention to me, right? So just paying attention to those small details that I don't know, I hope leaders do.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, I struggle with that. I mean, my brain's going like 50 miles an hour, and but I've heard you say listening to clients, listening to employees, like not telling people, but listening is key.
Because I was on the other
need to do a better job of that, Yeah,
I was on the other side of that fence before, right?
Yeah.
Where I talked to people and maybe wasn't heard or listened to. And yeah, it's hard when you get feedback like that. And to be in a position that I'm in, you have to do that. And I mean, that skill didn't come overnight. It's something that I learned, something that I experienced again, just from my things. We're dealing with a different time in our lives right now, right? 2024 is different than it was in 2000.
Right.
So being able to adapt to that as well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you what the future's going to look like, but we're just going to keep doing what we do, and I think that'll sort itself out.
I think we all look back and go, oh, it was so great back then, but I do think leaders told people what to do back when.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're doing this, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I toured a space that Wellington owns in Roseville. It's the big old American Family building. And, he's trying to figure out how to repurpose that. Maybe you have some good solutions for that. We have some ideas too. But it used to be like a sea of cubes There was no natural light.
Yuck.
And it was this big call center and this, I mean, the work environment, and I picture everybody in there smoking cigarettes and drinking
Yep.
coffee and just being on the phone all day long, having people tell them what they need to do. That's like, I mean, I gotta think that, well, we have other challenges with social media and all that, but like, and all these other pressures and all kinds of things, but
Yep.
we do have more choices, and boy, you're making like the work experience for your employees so much better than.
Well, I like to think we are. I really like to think we are. We're constantly evolving that. I don't know, we have leadership meetings every quarter, so we talk about those kinds of things. Who's struggling? Who do we need to pay attention to? And it's everybody, but there's some that struggle more than others that are asking for help or asking for whatever it is. We need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and following back up and respecting what they're asking for, regardless if it's yes or no, right?
Right. There's a real struggle to get younger people into the trades. I mean, are you feeling that? Are you having a hard time? How are you finding new talent? What's your process to kind of get people involved?
Well, we're actually having pretty good luck on the field side of things finding talent.
Really?
It's a time right now where there's a lot of people that are slow.
Really?
So there are carpenters and people looking for work. And there's some good people out there that are doing that. I think the recruiters have a lot to do with it as well, because they're calling us every day, and we know they're calling everybody else every day.
Oh, really?
So I think there's little avenues there. But yeah, bringing in younger kids to get them into the trades. What we're doing is we're going out to these schools. We're telling them what it's like being a carpenter, or what it's like being a superintendent or a field engineer. We're bringing our field engineers, we're bringing our superintendents to these schools, and just
like
giving
high schools or colleges or Dunwoody or.
It's high school, it's colleges, it's all of the above, the trade schools.
Okay.
We're doing that. That's an education piece that we're doing. We're seeking out.
That's cool.
So that's how we're being a little bit different, and just sharing our stories. What's a day look like for you? And here's what our day looks like. You're talking to our superintendent who does this every day. So hopefully that's helping a little bit. Not to say that I don't know if we have hired anybody going that route yet, but at least we're out there doing those kinds of things. I don't know. The unions are having trouble with it, attracting new talent. But I think there's some incentives and some things that are really great that will hopefully bring that back up. We got a lot of folks that are on the verge of retirement, and those skills that they have that we want them to pass down is getting real slim, right? Because when I went through the program, the Carpenter program, I was alongside of many talented older men and women, right, that have been around the trades forever, and was taught a lot of tricks, a lot of efficiencies, a way to do things, and we just don't have that anymore. And so it's super hard to have that on-the-job training. For one, we're strapped for hours on our jobs. Our budgets are cut pretty thin. Man hours are just not there to have someone alongside someone else to learn. So we're learning on the fly. We're throwing them all in the deep end. It's kind of a sink or swim, but it's also a spot for them to ask more questions too. So I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird time right now.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about costs. Tell me what's going on with construction costs. Are they coming up? Are they coming down? Or where?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
It depends what areas you're talking. Steel and lumber and drywall stuff. Things used to be super expensive, but I think they've kind of plateaued. But there are some, I guess, I don't know, some things. Concrete's still a big one that's high.
Really?
Just because of the struggles with the railroads and things get materials to where they got to go.
Oh, really?
I think it plays a big part in how that fluctuates so much. But construction costs and like material-wise, I think they've kind of leveled. Labor costs obviously have gone up. That's a big part of our projects is that labor cost. How I don't know that that's never ever going to go up. It's going to continue to rise, but it's gone up pretty significantly in the last 10 years. It's kind of what we're seeing, I guess.
Yeah, so it makes it hard for those projects to
It does.
pencil.
Yeah, to pencil, you got to get them
And
within
between
budget.
interest rates and- yeah.
You're going back 2 and 3, 4 times trying to budget things and get things within a budget, cutting things, which is always not the best thing either, but you have to make it work.
Yeah, we've got a couple of projects that for sure that you're pricing right now, so keep.
We got to sharpen our pencil
Yeah,
then.
keep sharpening.
Of course.
Okay, so you've taken the helm, you've got a runway. What's in the future? What are you dreaming? How are you going to take Greiner to the next level? What are you thinking about?
Man, I don't know. There's just so many things I think about. Just keep hiring good people. Keep mending and having those relationships with more and more people there, which is going to bring work. Looking for that new spot to go to. I don't know where it's at yet, but there's communities and states out there that need people like us, and trying to find that next one. But just getting into maybe some different type of work. I don't know what it is yet. If it's the development side of things, if it's more healthcare, more industrial. I mean, there's lots of different areas that we're thinking about, and I think we're ready to go wherever we need to help keep us on a slow trajectory. We're not, we don't want to hire 60 more people tomorrow. It's just not in our nature. That slow, steady growth. We're going to keep on that path. Keep having our relationships, and our people are going to keep bringing those relationships in, and we'll see where it goes.
What is geographically, where can you do projects today?
I would say everywhere. We are traveling outside of Iowa and Minnesota. Our sweet spot's probably between Minneapolis and that 35W, that 35 corridor between here and Des Moines, right?
Okay.
That's kind of our sweet spot.
Okay.
But we are branching out. We're going to the Fargos. We're going to the Omahas. We're going to Montana. We're going to Colorado. Our clients are taking us there.
Sure.
They're asking us if we go there, and absolutely, we're going to go there for the right clients for sure.
Yeah.
Probably not going to the East Coast. Probably not going to the West Coast. It's pretty cutthroat out in those two areas,
Right.
Which we have no business being in. But I see our clients just taking us wherever we think we can go, and so far we haven't said no to a lot of things.
So you have some of the best swag in the industry.
We do?
I'd have to say. But how else are you? And yes, your marketing team must do a really good job,
yeah.
right?
They do a good job.
Shout out to them. But what is what do you think is key in developing those relationships?
As far as client base goes,
Yeah, as far as clients go, yeah. Or
well, swag's a good one, right?
yeah, that's why I mentioned
Obviously,
it. I love
right?
the swag.
I don't know, just being involved with what they got going on. The occasional happy hour now and then, the fun stuff that we do, inviting them in for the construction trends that we put on to teach a little bit. I don't know what the real recipe is for that.
What is a sweet? Well, I mean, I think you know it. I think you just embody that, relationship building.
Yeah.
You're just so good at just touching base with people and making them feel like you care. I mean, it's just a real natural thing.
You try,
gift
right?
that
You
you
try
have.
to do that. Could you do more? Absolutely, could do more.
Yeah, well, you
but it's
can always
just-
do more, right?
I know. It's just you feel
You do well.
Well, you feel like you left someone out all the time, right? I do. Like,
Yeah.
I jot things down and I type stuff in my phone. Like, I need to touch base with so and so, and then another person will come in my head. Oh, I need to touch base. It's hard to connect all the dots all the time, but yeah, we do the best we can.
Yeah. Well, and that's your quote, right? Do the best you can every day. Tell me your quote again that you said in your office. Do the best you can every day, and
Yeah, make tomorrow better, right?
yeah,
Just
and make tomorrow better. Okay.
So,
Yeah. All right.
kind of the quote.
Yeah, I love that. So, a sweet spot project for you. Like, what can we bring you? What kind of deals can we bring you?
Oh my gosh, I like them all.
Okay.
There's nothing too small, nothing too big. I want you to call me for that door lock to be fixed. I want you to come call me to put that piece of base on the wall. But I also want you to call me when you got projects that you need a full remodel, to full gut, or you need to build a building. There's nothing that I don't think we would not touch. It just, if it makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. Tell me about this year. What are you excited about working on this year? What's going on today, this week, next month? Anything jump into your mind?
There's so many good things. Again, I think I go back to the nonprofit world and all the organizations that we are involved with.
Okay.
There's so many of those. I think we got maybe a dozen going on right now.
Really?
Yep. From Project Success to Tierra Encanta to the Sane to the can't remember just the one we just had groundbreak on last week, but lots of them, and every one of them is different. We're building homes over here. We're building meeting space here. We're putting an elevator in here so we can get people from point A to point B. They're just all different, and I think we're interviewing for like 3 or 4 more, like really in the near future for those types. That's super exciting.
That's awesome.
But then the housing world too. There's lots of interviews that we've been on as of late for projects maybe that not happening this year, but next year and in 26.
Yeah.
Some things that we've been awarded already. Just getting in front of those teams, sharing our story, the impact that we've already had, what we're going to continue to have, and how we can help them. That's the fun part of our jobs, doing all that stuff.
Well, I'm a huge Josh Helgesen fan, and
well, there's one.
and I look forward to doing more projects with you in the future.
Yeah, likewise.
Thanks for spending time with me today.
Thanks for having me. It was
so
fun.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.